Well, 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 look at that. I was pretty much almost dead on the money with this one. Now, I expected a Mordred banner to drop. I did not think they were going to drop Li Shuin and Scheherazade. I really did think they were going to use this as some type of excuse to drop, like a Raikou banner because she was technically a part of Halloween 3, right? With, the Saber Liz, or was that Halloween 2? Whichever one it was, I don't really care. But look, this is not a banner you want to be spending your Saint Quartz on. I feel like I shouldn't have to do videos like this being like, hey man, you really shouldn't spend your Saint Quartz on a banner like this. I mean, these are all servants you could pick up for free potentially in the future when we get a free 5-star ticket. And I know it's like, well, if JP got it tomorrow, it's like 2 years away. I get it. I know the meme. But still, that is Saint Quartz you can save for the Thanksgiving banner, right? Or for the New Year's banner, right? Or Koyan Sky's Return, Melusine, Scotty, any of these people. But I don't doubt the appeal of going for someone like Mordred. Not only did she get a really nice buff recently over on JP, but she also has a really nice costume, and she's going to get another one with the glasses event that I am personally a fan of. Now, these two losers over here, if you're going to tell me in the comments that you're going to come summon for these guys, look, I understand Mordred. She is an Apocrypha fan favorite. You can use her in the future. These two absolute losers, absolute bums. If you're going to tell me that you're going for them, we're going to have some words after class, all right? There ain't no way you're going to tell me that you have all these great servants to potentially summon on, and just even other hidden banners that we might get, like this one on NA, because we always get random bonus banners because they love throwing all these surprises at us over here on NA to be like, see, we got your clairvoyance. And it's like, well, okay, throwing a random banner at us is not really getting around our clairvoyance, man. Like, we still pretty much know everything that's going to happen. But, you're going to throw away all of that for one of these bums over here. I don't know why you would do it. Now, Mordred, not a bum, but, I guess they did just throw them up here for like 3 days. So they're like, you gotta act fast if you want to get Mordred. You want to spend your Saint Quartz on Scheherazade or Li Shuin. Oh boy, better act quickly. And, like I have the pages pulled up over here just to kind of go over them, because Mordred, I do want to stress that I'm not calling her a bum. She is good. I would like to use her on JP if I actually had her skills done and I actually had Koya and Skya, but someday I'll be able to use them. But they have given her just a nice series of buffs. Like this, for one, is the most recent one that she got, where they just gave her this nice little bit of an attack buff, right? So now, if you're using her for Buster farming, because her third skill does have a 30% battery, which is completely good. Koya and Skya likes that, and Oberon also likes you having that, right? The fact that you can use her, I believe she also, she refunds her NP as well over here, so you can kind of make some things work of the 20%. Kind of like how Artoria doesn't necessarily need Oberon for the Buster farming, like she would like to have him, but she doesn't need to do it because she kind of has a quote-unquote 50% battery because she refunds, right? And in that same way, Mordred's really good for that as well. And this brought her up to par, right? So, 3 times for 3 turns is not the best for challenge content, right? Because you do a Buster Brave chain and you've just lost all of your Buster buffs. But if you're going to be doing farming, you're only going to fire 3 Buster cards. Ideally, that's going to be your 3 NPs. And then they gave her a nice little attack buff for that as well. So, like, she does pretty good consistent damage. I'm pretty sure on the damage charge, I don't think she's around Artoria, but she's in that, like, 27 to 28k range. Something like that. Like, she's definitely hitting a really good, respectable level. And I like what they were doing with her. But if you don't want to bring in her more difficult content, they also gave her this. But not as relevant for farming unless for some reason you really need to use your face cards, and in that case you can kind of use it like a Zenobia skill where you pop the second skill, bomb the stars, absorb them, and hopefully use a crit to beat some 90 plus content in the future. Maybe you really do need that Buster crit, but look, she's a winner. She's good. Like, even now she's fine, and before she gets this, it's still not the best, but it's okay, right? These two, especially this guy, I have a personal vendetta against this guy, and you guys all know this. I know someone will be like, oh, but his NP does so much damage, and his burst damage is out of this world crazy. Bro, we're not in year 1 anymore, all right? Being able to do 1 turn of big damage ain't cutting it anymore, right? You can type in the comments, wah, 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 cry and complain all you want. It's just not what we're here for, right? And I know someone will be like, okay, but I brought my dude Li Shuin to beat Kiara or something. Look, Kiara's easy sauce, all right? Not even that hard anymore, right? Actually go beat a real impressive boss, and then maybe I'll give him some credit. And even then, you got better options anyway. You could go bring this guy and have him beat Comet Saws on some weird solo or something, and I'll just tell you, you could have used a free-to-play to accomplish the same exact thing, right? I mean, he does have the basic necessity for, like, or I guess not the basic necessity, but the basics that you would want a servant to have, right? Like, he's got Invul Pierce, which is nice. He's got big crit damage for a turn. He's got even a dodge, right? Like, he can keep himself alive in an emergency, right? But unfortunately, I mean, this is good for his burst damage, but unfortunately, he's an art servant. And I don't know if you guys have ever used an art servant with double. This is sounding really condescending. I'm sorry, because I'm like, no, there are definitely people that don't have double Castoria. But if you've used arts teams, even with one Castoria, right, and using, say, a waiver if you're more free to play, you don't really have a problem staying alive, right? Like, Castoria gives you targetable invincibility. She gives you the best defensive buff in the game, Solemn Defense. And then even if you're using waiver, you get defense, damage cut, stuns, and you drain the enemy's NP. It's not that hard to keep your people around. And this was the most disappointing thing of all time. They were like, oh, check this out. Most crazy buff you're going to ever see. What changed? Quite literally, what changed? What changed aside from the damage scaling? We put a little arrow next to there. 150% chance to insta-kill, my favorite. A boss killer having insta-kill. Let me just strut on over to the next Iskandar boss, or, you know, whatever rider, and have this guy insta-kill that servant. I'm sure that'll go really, really well. Now, it's not like he's unsalvageable, and it does hurt me to see him actually be this bad, because he's really cool in Samurai Remnant. I like Old Man Lee Shuen. I think he's sick. It's just, they didn't give him anything. They were like, dude, burst damage in what, year 3 when he came out? Year 3, year 4, something like that? I'm like, bro, we are not in year 1 anymore. How are you going to fumble this guy that hard? I mean, if you like him because of Samurai Remnant and he's like one of your favorite characters, obviously, you can go summon for him, but I'm telling you, there are better 3-star options, man. Bring Izo if you need a 1-turn, you know, burst damage guy, right? Like, I know Izo's also got a bunch of 1-turn buffs, but he's a 3-star. He costs less. He probably have NP 2, 3, 4, 5 if you were lucky. If you're not me, who's still stuck with NP3. But then there's this one over here. Now, okay, Scheherazade is not an actual bum like I'm making her out to be. I just have a personal grudge because when I was summoning for her, or for some Scotty for year 3 on anniversary, I got the Rainbow Sparkles, I saw the caster, and I was like, dude, I did it, got really excited, and then it was this loser over here, and I've never let her live it down. I did not level her up for like 2 years, right? Like, I just refused to use this unit at all in any capacity. But you can use her as an arts farmer. I mean, I don't think she's the greatest arts farmer ever, right? I mean, like, having things like, you know, a 1-turn arts buff is not exactly the greatest. Her hits are fine, right? 5 hits is okay. And having fine enough hits means that with Castoria, all things are possible, right? The King anti-damage mod, not the worst, not the best, but I mean, at least she has a power mod. This has always been like kind of an interesting thing for more difficult content as well. Giving the entire party guts is actually interesting. Like, I do think this is kind of like a neat thing to have, right? Because it's the one thing that Waver, Tamamo, Castoria, even Lady Avalon, who will come out later, they don't offer guts. Because sometimes you have an enemy that's just going to like pierce Invul and you don't have Castoria's NP up for whatever reason and you got to take a hit. This at least allows you to take a hit. And you do get 3k HP, at least with her. Your allies might still get 1 tapped, but hey, at least they potentially might have lived something, right? And this is whatever. It is whatever. I mean, it's funny if you have Waver, because then she gets like 60% with like 500 damage cut or something, or 1,000 damage cut, whatever he has. I don't have it memorized, but yeah, she can get like pretty thick, right? Which you could see. You want to invest the grails in her, bro. She got that ruler Artoria HP, but it's just not what you want to be spending your Saint Quartz on, right? And I know that I have a little bit of a personal bias against her. You can use her for arts farming, but it's not like it's that hard to find an AoE arts unit to use. I mean, there are like 1-star option. No, Jason's a 2-star, but a 2-star option, right? And Jason, you could just bring him. Habitrot is in the friend gacha. I mean, you can't tell me, like, but she's a rider. What if I have to use her against, like, a saber, man? Like, what if I gotta do that? Look, when I started my JP account, I had a Castoria and a Dream, all right? And I pretty much lived and died off of an NP2 Muramasa and an NP4 Habitrot because I could just not get the last one to save my life. If there was an archer or anything that Muramasa couldn't do, Habitrot to the rescue, right? So don't, I will not take any beanbag Habitrot disrespect, all right? I'm not taking none of that around here. You got good options, and you don't need someone like Scheherazade. But I don't know, for whatever reason, if I'm just really trying hard not to laugh at this one, but if you were like, dude, Epic of Remnant, Agartha, absolutely slapped. That was my favorite story chapter of all time. And you were like, Scheherazade, best twist villain in that arc. I loved it, right? If that's something that you're like, you know, that's an unironic thing that you have, then by all means, burn your Saint Courts on this Cerner, right? You go ahead. The only one that I think is really even kind of like worth is like Mordred, because she will be good in the future, but again, that's the future. She could potentially like spook you on different banners, because as you can see, she's not like story locked or anything. She could randomly pop up on a random banner that you're going for. Like you might be summoning for Charlemagne next year and you might get spooked by Mordred, right? And then she'll also come back for things like Valentine's, which again, I'll probably tell you guys next year, be like, don't summon on like the off rate up units like Mordred and all the other blah, blah, blah people that come back around. Summon for like Bizet or, what's her name? Karen, who comes back next year as well. Like I'll probably still make a video like that, but at the very least, you know, you don't have Scotty coming back in like 2 months. Koyenskaya comes back in 2 months. Melusine comes back in like a month and a half. And look, I'm sorry, I like Mordred. You know, I love my saber faces. She counts as a saber face, right? Surely she counts as a saber face. But you know, I like my saber faces like anybody else. But you cannot deny that Melusine is like one of the most broken units we have in the game. Top 10 probably easily. Well, hold on. I don't know if I want to make that claim, because then someone's going to try to come. They're going to burn my channel down. But look, she's definitely up there, right? The fact that I even can just think that she immediately could probably be in the top 10, I think is just insane. Although, that's more for like NA, because JPS people like Kukulkan Khan who are pretty insane. So I don't know. Maybe that's a video for another time. Top 10 FGO servants on NA. Who knows? But with that being said, I'm sure you guys get the idea. I'm sorry if earlier I was coming off as condescending. I don't want to be. I don't want to come off like that to people. I'm just making a joke. Look, I'm never taking this too seriously. Look, it's a mobile game, right? Let's relax. It's not a life or death here. But you know, I was like, man, there might be some people that get the wrong idea. This is their first time popping up on the channel, and they're like, this guy is a jerk, bro. This guy sucks. But all right, with all that being said, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm gonna go to bed because they dropped this at like what, 3 a.m. Yeah, it's time for your boy to go to bed. Peace.